Hey, what's happening guys? This is Bharat for iGyaan.in, and today we're going to be checking out the top phones that you should buy under 10,000 rupees. So let's get started. Now we scoured the internet for the best prices that we could find, and we've dropped them in the description below. So if you're interested in buying any of the phones, you should find the links below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to iGyaan on YouTube. Since we somehow missed them in the first video, we're going to make some additions to this video and revise the list. We're going to start off the list with the Redmi Note 3 16GB variant. Now this phone has a 5.5-inch Full HD 1920 by 1080p display, giving it a total of 401 pixels per inch. You also get a metal unibody shell and a 16-megapixel primary camera and a front-facing 5-megapixel camera, both of which are pretty good in low light with an f2 aperture. Now, this phone runs MIUI and it comes with a 1.8 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 650 processor, along with 2GB of RAM and 16GB of storage in the 9,999 variant. You can also pop in a micro SD card up to 32GB, and you also get 2 SIM card capability in a hybrid tray. The battery on the Redmi Note 3 is a 4050 mAh battery, and the big little architecture in the hexa-core processor makes for really good battery optimization. The Redmi Note 3 also works with all LTE bands and supports VoLTE. There's also a slightly cheaper Redmi 3S Prime, which comes with a Snapdragon 430 processor and 4100 mAh of battery, which comes in for Rs 8,999, but we personally wouldn't recommend it, and for 1,000 rupees more you can get the Redmi Note 3. We're starting off with the Samsung phone, the Samsung On7 Pro, available for 9,999. Comes with a 5.5-inch 1280 by 720p display. It's extremely well built and it fits really well in the hand. It comes with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 processor, and it also has the Adreno 306 GPU. You get 2GB of RAM and 16GB of storage and 128GB expandability via micro SD card. The On7 Pro has fantastic battery life, and it also comes with a 3000 mAh battery. The cameras are exceptionally good, and if you like clicking pictures, this is one of the good phones that you should buy, with a 13-megapixel rear camera with an f2.1 aperture and an f2.2 equipped 5-megapixel front-facing camera. The phone comes with Android 6, but will be updated to Android 7 is what Samsung has claimed, so hopefully they will do that. Next on our list is the Moto G Play. Now the 4th generation Moto G came in a bunch of variants, and the Play is one of them, priced at 8,999 rupees. It comes with a 5-inch 720p display, giving you a total pixel density of 294 pixels per inch. It also has a water-repellent nano coating, which we like, 1.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 processor, along with the Adreno 306 GPU, 2GB of RAM and 16GB of inbuilt storage. You also get expandability up to 128GB. The Moto G Play comes with a 2,800 mAh battery, and it also has a 10-watt Moto turbo charger, which is included inside the box. The cameras are slightly less, with an 8-megapixel primary camera and a 5-megapixel front-facing camera, but you still get 1080p video on the rear camera. Now, if you're willing to spend a little over 10,000 rupees, the Moto G4 standard variant comes in for a price of 10,499, and it has a larger 5.5-inch display, which has a full HD resolution, so 1920 by 1080p, giving it a total of 401 pixels per inch. You also get a newer Qualcomm Snapdragon 617 processor and the Adreno 405 GPU. RAM remains the same with 2GB, and so does internal storage with 16GB, and you get expandability up to 128GB. You also get better battery with 3000 mAh and a 13-megapixel primary camera and a 5-megapixel front-facing camera. So if you're willing to go a little over 10,000 rupees, the Moto G 4th generation is a pretty good option. Next up is the Lenovo K6 Power. We recently reviewed this, so you can also go check out our review of the phone. It costs 9,999, but it's only available in flash sales. It's got a 5-inch 1920 by 1080p display, giving it a whopping 441 pixels per inch, possibly the highest pixel density that you get in this price bracket. You get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 430 chipset, which is at 1.4 GHz, and you also get the Adreno 505 GPU. 3 gigs of RAM and 32GB of onboard storage, which is expandable to 128GB, give it a good bump in the memory department. And you also get a large 4000 mAh battery, a 13-megapixel face detection autofocus camera, and an 8-megapixel front camera, along with all possible sensors on this device, make it a pretty good option for under 10,000 rupees. In fact, it costs exactly 10,000 rupees. Another competitor in the under 10K is the Asus ZenFone Max. Now, it doesn't compare to many of the previous phones that we've seen, but you do get a 5.5-inch IPS LCD display, along with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 615 chipset. You get options of 2GB of RAM or 3GB of RAM, 32GB of onboard storage, which you can expand to up to 64GB. The battery is massive with a 5000 mAh battery, and you also get a 13-megapixel f2 camera with laser autofocus and a dual LED flash. Now last up is the Coolpad Note 5. It does cost about 1,000 rupees more than 10,000, but it's a good fit in our list, and it comes with a 5.5-inch IPS LCD display with a 1920 by 1080p resolution, giving it a total of 401 pixels per inch. You also get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 617 chipset along with 4GB of RAM and the Adreno 405 GPU. 32GB of onboard storage, which you can pop in a micro SD card to increase to up to 64GB, and the phone also comes with a large 4010 mAh battery. You get a 13 megapixel primary camera with autofocus and an 8 megapixel front facing camera, and you also get a front facing flash. Overall, it's a pretty good phone, but it does go 1,000 rupees over our list. So that concludes our list for top smartphones under 10,000 rupees, or should I say around 10,000 rupees. If you like this video, guys, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more such top phones under lists coming up shortly. You can also check us out on iGyaan.in. You can also catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Snapchat, and Instagram. All the links to everything is in the description below. This has been Bharat, guys. I'll see you in the next one.